Let's face it, we all experienced shyness at some point in our lives. But let's ask ourselves, would we have all the friends that we do now if we let our shyness take over? Let's think about a recent example, just last year. Would we have all the friends from California that we do now if we let our shyness take over? There's good news and there's bad news about shyness. The bad news is that it might make you lose out on all these friendships that you have now. And the good news is that shyness can help us think before we speak, and it's not permanent, which makes it manageable. Let's look at 3 ways that you can overcome shyness. Obstacle number 1, I don't know what to talk about. The fact is that conversations don't have to be long and impressive, and you don't have to be the life of the party. Just introduce yourself to someone new. Start with little things like a smile and a hello. People actually remember less of what you say, but more of how you make them feel. So we can start by practicing listening and paying attention and being genuinely interested in what others have to say, but not being pushy. Another thing we can do is found at Galatians 6:4. Please turn there with me. That's Galatians 6:4. Let each one examine his own actions, and then he will have cause for rejoicing in regard to himself alone, and not in comparison with the other person. So we need to avoid comparing ourselves with others. Our goal should be just to bring our shyness under control so that we don't lose out on all the rewarding friendships and experiences. Obstacle number 2, people will think I'm boring. Be observant and take notes from people who make friends easily. What works for them? What doesn't work so well? Which desirable skills of theirs could you develop? The fact is that people will form opinions about you, whether you are shy or not. And unless you open up once in a while, no one will benefit from the valuable qualities that you have. Think of others' opinions of you like a fire, and it burns on what they know about you. What the fire burns on can change its heat and color. This could represent how others' view of you changes as they get to know you better. A scripture that I found motivational on this topic was Proverbs 27:17. Please turn there with me. That's Proverbs 27:17, and it reads, "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens his friend." Obstacle number 3, I'll be embarrassed if I say the wrong thing. Saying the wrong thing happens to everyone now and then. You can keep your fear under control by viewing a mistake as an opportunity to show that you don't take yourself too seriously. People usually like to give their opinions on things, so asking questions is a good way to start a conversation with them. It also puts less attention on you. Let's read Philippians 2:4. That's Philippians 2:4, and it reads, "Look out not only for your own interests, but also for the interests of others." You can even think of a few topics or questions before a public event, or so that meeting new people will be less stressful. Preparing beforehand can help reduce your anxiety. Think of it like a recipe. If we add too much salt, it can be bad. The same thing can be said if we don't add enough. So let's start small with a smile, be observant, and not take ourselves too seriously. In doing this, we can start to take control of our fear, and we might find that face-to-face conversations are not as frightening as they once seemed.